She looked me dead in the eyes across the candlelit table and said it without blinking. Buy me that $3,000 designer bag or I'm walking out tonight. 2 years together, and that was her price. I didn't argue. I didn't negotiate. I just watched her mask slip and realized the woman I'd built a life with had been running a silent audit on my wallet the entire time. And the worst part, she thought I would chase. I set my fork down slowly. The restaurant noise faded into background static. She leaned in, waiting for the panic, the apologies, the white knight scramble most men deliver on command. Instead, I stayed quiet. That silence was my first boundary. She hated it. She filled the void the way they always do. You never spoil me anymore. Every other guy I know would have already had it wrapped by now. Her voice cracked just enough to sound hurt, but her eyes stayed sharp, calculating. This wasn't emotion. This was leverage. But that wasn't the real issue. I drove her home in silence. She cried the whole way, the kind of tears that usually make men fold. I kept my hands at 10 and 2 and my mind clear. When we pulled up, she slammed the door and stormed inside like she'd already won. I sat in the driveway another 10 minutes, running the last 18 months through the only filter that matters, respect. And that's where the disrespect became obvious. She had never asked for the bag before. She had hinted. She had liked posts. She had forwarded me links with little heart emojis, but tonight she drew the line in cash because she thought I was soft enough to cross it. She believed her presence was the prize and my job was to keep paying the admission fee. The next morning she tried the classic reset. Text at 7:42 a.m. I was just emotional last night. I love you. Can we talk? Followed by 3 crying emojis. I read it once, left it on read. No reply. High-value men don't negotiate with ultimatums. By noon, she was at my door. Full performance. Hair done, makeup perfect, voice soft like silk over steel. Baby, I didn't mean it. I just want to feel taken care of. Is that so wrong? She stepped close, fingers tracing my chest the way she knew used to work. I didn't step back. I didn't step forward. I simply looked at her until she had to fill the silence again. She switched tactics. You're really going to let one bag end us after everything I've done for you? There it was, the guilt trip. The subtle rewrite of history where she became the giver and I became the ungrateful taker. Classic female psychology move, flip the script so you're the one who owes her. That's when I started the quiet audit in my head. The designer clothes in her closet I'd paid for. The girls' trips I funded. The rent she forgot to split for 4 months straight. The late nights she spent scrolling luxury accounts while I covered every bill. She wasn't building a life with me. She was renting a lifestyle from me. I still didn't speak. I just opened the door wider and let her walk in. She thought that meant victory. It didn't. The next 3 days, she escalated the pressure. Stories on her Instagram with sad quotes about men who don't provide. Subtle tags, screenshots sent to mutual friends. One of her girls even texted me, "She's really hurting, bro. Step up." Manipulation by proxy. They run the same playbook every time. But the real turn came on day 4. And this is where the game revealed itself. I was at work when my phone lit up with a notification from her cloud backup I'd forgotten to disconnect. She'd been screenshotting conversations with an ex, not emotional ones, practical ones. He still hasn't bought the bag. If he doesn't by Friday, I'm crashing at your place until I find something better. Friday was tomorrow. My blood didn't boil. It went cold. Calm. That's the difference between a boy and a man who's done the work. I didn't call her. I didn't confront. I simply drove home during lunch, packed every single thing she'd ever left at my place, clothes, makeup, that stupid $800 hairdryer she made me buy last month, into 2 black duffel bags. Methodical, no rage, just facts. I changed the locks while the bag sat neatly by the door. Then I sat on the couch and waited. She showed up at 6:17 p.m. Key didn't work. She knocked. I opened the door, handed her the bags, and said the only 4 words the situation deserved. You're leaving. Tonight. Her face went through the full cycle, shock, confusion, then the scripted rage. You're actually doing this over a bag? You're pathetic. She reached for the tears again. They didn't land. I looked at her the same way I'd looked at her across that restaurant table. No anger, no explanation, just finality. It was never about the bag. It was about the fact that you thought you could price me. You turned our relationship into a transaction and expected me to keep paying. I don't negotiate with liabilities. The audit is closed. She stood there for a long second, mouth open, searching for the next line in her playbook. Nothing came. Because there is no comeback when a high-value man enforces a boundary without emotion. I closed the door. The new deadbolt clicked into place with the cleanest sound I'd heard in months. She didn't lose a provider that night. She lost a man who finally stopped auditioning for the role of her emotional safety net. And I didn't lose her. I upgraded my piece. The game ends the moment you stop playing it. Stay rational, stay firm, and never let them set the price on your self-respect.